don't know. I have no idea. Can I say something like that?
Of course.
I have no idea. And you don't either.
We can't say
Do you
that.
think she had a plan all along, Bonnie?
A plan to do what?
Take Prince Harry from the arms of the royal family, rise from being a Z-list celebrity to a lot more. Do you think she planned the whole thing in her head?
Well, how insulting to Harry.
do.
I'm just... A very good point.
I mean,
yeah?
how insulting. I mean, seriously, this is a grown man. He fell in love with her, obviously. You fell in love with your wife.
I did.
Okay, there you go. That's it.
But you don't think there's anything about Meghan that is... And I think a lot of people in this country feel this. They feel... I actually think people in this country were very excited. And then they felt let down by them both. Do you understand that?
No, I don't feel it. I mean, first of all, she's a grown woman. She's a Californian, and Lady Victoria knows California.
Yep.
She acted exactly as she should act.
So you're not surprised by what happened?
What happened?
In terms of the fact that they quit the royal family and went to America?
Well, she's a grown-up.
I think it's so
and they should have actually allowed her to do her thing. And as you said, she was a very good thing on paper and in fact for this country and for the royal family. It was a coup.
Listen, the beauty of life is I don't actually agree with that at all, but there you go. Lady Victoria, what do you say?
Yeah.
Is it all about victimhood? What's going on?
No, I mean, like, I kind of agree with Bonnie that I think it was quite a calculated move with Meghan. I think she, you know, set her sights on Harry from the beginning. He was very vulnerable. You know, from his childhood, and she latched on to that.
Oh, jump in.
I mean, Victoria, look, with respect,
yeah.
we do know everything about Harry, you know, because he's been a public figure. But how can we sit here and psychoanalyze this guy? I mean, that's wrong. That's literally
no, but
wrong.
I think that is the way he comes across. And,
but that's not the same thing as who
her
he is. You know, we can't do that.
When Bonnie Greer spoke up on Talk TV to defend Prince Harry, she said something that, honestly, stopped everyone in their tracks. Harry did the right thing for the public, he did the right thing by his dad, and he did the right thing by his children. That sentence alone carried more truth, more emotional weight, than the endless noise from royal commentators who've built entire careers tearing Harry down. Bonnie wasn't just defending his choices. She was reminding everyone that Harry has always been led by his moral compass, one that has never needed palace approval or tabloid applause to do what's right. Because let's be real. When has Prince Harry ever taken the easy road? This is a man who has faced grief under the harshest spotlight imaginable, who grew up watching the media turn his mother's suffering into a daily headline, and who later realised that same toxic system was doing the very same thing to his wife. And yet, through all of that, Harry chose to step forward as a protector of his wife, of his children, and of his own peace of mind. Bonnie Greer saw that. She saw a man who made choices not out of rebellion, but out of love and responsibility. What people often forget is that Harry's life has always been a tug-of-war between duty and decency. The institution expected him to smile through pain, to show up at ceremonies with a straight face while tabloids dragged the woman he loves every single day. And when he finally said, "Enough," the same media that once called him the People's Prince suddenly labelled him a traitor. But what did he actually do wrong? He protected his family. He put the well-being of his wife and children above royal optics, something any decent husband and father would do. That's exactly what Bonnie Greer was getting at. She wasn't just defending his public image, she was speaking to his humanity. Because Harry's decision-making has always been rooted in care, not chaos. He didn't walk away from the royal machine because he wanted attention, he walked away because he wanted peace. And let's not forget, peace doesn't mean silence. It means creating boundaries strong enough to protect your joy. Harry did that. And right by his side, Meghan Sussex proved that strength and grace can exist even in the face of relentless cruelty. This is a woman who built her career long before royal titles, who championed gender equality, who donated, spoke, volunteered and wrote, not for applause, but for progress. When Bonnie defended Harry, she was also indirectly defending Meghan, because their strength is intertwined. Harry learned from Meghan what it means to stand tall in truth, and Meghan learned from Harry that love can survive even the loudest hate. For both Harry and Meghan, redefining legacy isn't about breaking away from tradition just for the sake of it. It's about, reshaping what it means to leave something meaningful behind, something that uplifts, inspires, and truly reflects who they are. For years, British tabloids have tried to convince the public that independence equals betrayal. But think about that. Why is it such a crime that Harry and Meghan chose to work, to build, to thrive on their own? Why is self-sufficiency seen as arrogance when it comes from them, but celebrated when it comes from anyone else? Meghan launched successful initiatives like Archetypes and the As Ever line, empowering, creative, and authentic projects that represent who she truly is. Meanwhile, Harry built Invictus, a living, breathing testament to his compassion for veterans, something the monarchy should have celebrated instead of sidelined. Bonnie's defense of Harry wasn't about a single event. It was about the principle that people should have the freedom to define their own legacy. She saw that Harry's choices aren't acts of defiance, they're acts of evolution. He's showing the world that being born into royalty doesn't mean you're owned by it. He's a husband, a father, a humanitarian. And those roles don't require royal approval. What the critics always fail to understand is that Harry and Meghan's departure didn't break the monarchy. It exposed it. It forced the world to ask why an institution that claims to represent the people could not protect its own members from racial abuse and psychological harm. Harry did what no one else dared to do. He confronted the system from within, not out of hate, but out of hope that something could change. And the irony? Every time the British media attacks them, Harry and Meghan rise higher. Every time the palace ignores them, they make global headlines for their work. Every time the haters try to silence them, they find new platforms, Netflix, Spotify, Archewell, to speak louder than ever. Their impact stretches far beyond royal walls now. They're building communities, not castles. They're using influence for empathy, not image. Leadership and legacy, they aren't just about titles or positions. They're about the impact you leave behind, the change you inspire, and the courage to stand up for what truly matters. Bonnie Greer recognised that the essence of leadership is service, and that's exactly what Harry and Meghan embody. Their actions reflect intention. When they visit schools, support charities, or speak about mental health, they're not ticking boxes for PR, they're doing the work because they've lived the pain. Harry's transparency about therapy and trauma has opened doors for men who were taught to bottle everything up. Meghan's candidness about depression and motherhood shattered the myth that perfection equals happiness. Let's not forget, this is the same couple that gave the world one of the most powerful interviews of our time. Not to seek pity, but to tell the truth. They spoke about racism, mental health, institutional neglect, all while maintaining composure and dignity. And instead of addressing their concerns, the press mocked, twisted, and belittled them. But truth has a funny way of lasting longer than lies, and today, more and more people, especially younger generations, see through the propaganda. Bonnie Greer's words remind us that empathy is not weakness. Actually, it's the very strength that keeps Harry and Meghan standing tall, while their critics, crumble under their own bitterness. Harry did the right thing by his children, giving them a home where love is louder than protocol. He did the right thing by his father, by showing up, even when he had every reason not to. And he did the right thing by the public, by modelling courage, honesty, and self-worth in a world obsessed with conformity. Harry and Meghan are not rebels, they're reformers. They're showing the world that you can love your family and still set boundaries. You can honour your roots without being buried by them. And that's what the British media just can't handle. because they thrive on control, not freedom. Bonnie Greer's defense pierced that illusion. She saw the bigger picture. She saw two people building something far more powerful than titles: integrity. So, when people question Harry's motives or accuse Meghan of manipulation, just remember this: their every move has been about liberation, not retaliation. And if more people had the courage to do what they did, to choose peace over pressure, truth over tradition, the world would be a much kinder place.